Hello and good morning. Welcome to the PM Show, your weekly roundup of what's new and going on in the hobby. What are you grinning at, Mr. Ball?
I'm grinning at Andy, to be honest.
Oh, what's he grinning at?
I'm just zipping my top up, just literally as we went live.
You know, you're getting old when this bit of skin gets a bit dangly and you zip it in and you're like, ah! Especially when you're about to go live.
Hey, chopping your turkey neck in it.
Yeah, that's it. Get your turkey neck in it, or one of my necks. You know, get your chins in there.
Catch your chin.
That's it. So anyway, we trust you're all doing very well at home. Are we doing all right after this weekend's marathon build?
Yeah, actually, I'm not doing bad at all. All right. Yes. Yeah.
Fair,
I enjoyed it. Had a good weekend.
It's always more tiring than you think, though, isn't it? But we'll come off and think.
I tell you what, it is that thing. I think until you're on the other side of the camera, I think it's people think we just sit there. It's not exactly digging a hole, is it? And I'm the first one to say it because that's my favourite saying to my kids. It's like, well, it's not like digging a hole, is it? And it's that thing about you sat here. It's the mental side of it, and you're reading questions, you're making sure everything's working okay, you're modelling. Your decals absolutely drive your distraction because you do exactly what you tell everybody not to do. You know, about trying to use 26-year-old decals on a kit when you should have just done a John and got bought aftermarket, and that it would have been a dream. But oh no, I didn't. I did it what we say every single week to anybody who's got yellowy decals about Binham. And I used them.
But you've just done a prime example of why you get aftermarket decals, haven't you?
You
just showed it live.
I showed it live. If
Sunday
you want to go
afternoon.
back and watch the pain, the videos are available to watch. Just watch Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And see me pulling my hair out. So.
Yeah. And the reasons why you've been off the old ones and get some aftermarket new ones because,
And that is the thing, isn't it? Kits generally, they will last forever. You know, literally, there's not a problem unless you've got real problems with warpage, with temperatures. But generally, decal's always going to be the weak spot. But again, like we said before, you know, especially like now, if you bought a kit now, 50 to 100 quid, let's face it, for a sort of 48 scale upgradey type kit, you know, if you're going to have to spend a tenner on decals, just do it. Don't mess around with it. It's, you know, not worth it and all the rest of it. So
the big question though is, how can you best store your decals so they don't go brittle? And
again, I think this is the thing, isn't it? If you go back, obviously, not to be funny, 20 years from when I was a lad, all right, youth, teenager, lout, I don't know. But the thing is that we didn't have insulation in your lofts like we do nowadays. So everybody used to store your stash in your lofts and that, and all you had was like in my loft, especially I only had mine done a couple of years ago. It was just tile. You had some felt if you were posh,
but
there was no insulation like modern houses have now. You know, and let's face it, modern houses, you're not supposed to put anything in your loft anyway. So that's the thing, and I think it's just that over the years, isn't it? Baking hot summers, 1,000 degrees up there, and in the winter everything's frozen. And I think that's what killed decals off. But I think modern houses now aren't as bad as it used to be. And if you store, like, you know, to be honest, my stash is in here with me, it's not really a problem, I don't think, because it's just normal temperatures. But I do wonder sometimes as well that obviously older decals, just the age, it's an age thing, isn't it? I think that the backing obviously dries out over time, and then obviously they go yellow, and they're not in light because they're in a box. So it's not like they're being, the sunlight's got to them, an ultraviolet light. So I think it's just decals do generally have a lifespan. So, you know, I think it's that thing, after 25, 30 years, you might as well just buy one that was made last year that
but
going to work.
Don't you think the quality of the printing and the process has come on as well from 25 years ago, 30 years ago? It's like everything with the hobby and life in general, things move on. So it's, you know, the printing has probably moved on. So we'll have to see in, you know, if we live 20 odd years
If I make it another 25 years, we'll be all right after breathing all this in.
Yeah, exactly. See how your decals are.
I was talking to somebody the other day and they were saying about, obviously they've sprayed lacquers and enamels all their life. It's going to be interesting when they cremate him. He might just explode.
He might just
it just vaporise instantly.
Exactly, yeah, it'll be vaporised. Yeah.
It'll be, oh, he's a modeller.
That'll be me. That would definitely be me.
That would be definitely you.
I'll just puff of smoke.
It is.
So, anyway.
But anyway, it was a fantastic weekend. As I say, I have managed to finish this off, and I will be doing a little bit more on this tomorrow night as well, just to complete it and all the rest of it. Lots of fun going down. And thanks to Matt, he sent me my little ATM6. And we did a little weathering job on that as well. So yeah, no, it was really, really good. You guys did some great work. Matt did his little truck.
Yeah, I'm going to get some photos of that done. I've actually left it. I was meant to bring it today. I've left it home, so I'm going to bring it tomorrow. So they're up for Friday, or for tomorrow night at least. I'll get them up in the thread.
Nice.
And Andy's cracking on with his little ding.
I did my little truck, and I did my Gundam as well.
Cool. So it was a good weekend. Thank you for all the sales as well. I know Matt's obviously been snowballed over the weekend and obviously getting the orders out, which are all going out obviously yesterday and today after the show, right the way through.
Yeah, we got through a load Monday, a load yesterday, and a load more are going out today. So we pretty much should be caught up from the weekend today. And then, we're rattling through it. But yeah, thanks for everybody who's purchased as usual. It's much appreciated. And like I say, it was good. It was really good.
It was. It's
weekend all round.
It was, and like obviously we've spoken after the show and everything else like that, and it was that thing we were saying that next year we might tie in some weekends to go along with the SIGs and group builds and things like that as well for build along weekends as well, because they are a lot of fun. We do enjoy them.
Next year, Matt was on about next week.
Yeah. Well, we got the last week of Christmas. We'll get in there and get them done. So yeah, but no, thank you very much for all of that. So as I say, it's been quite quiet, hasn't it, in the old release schedule. We've got lots of stuff that we've been told is sort of coming out now-ish, within momentarily, but we're yet to see any of it yet, as always. So, but we have got the Zvezda 135th. What's that? T62, which is the newest one.
Brand new tool. That
brand new tool. So is this now going to be the definitive T62?
I don't know. I think it's going to be the easier one to build because obviously Trumpeter do a load of T62s, which are quite detailed. But I think for sort of if you want the Tamiya-esque build, shall we say, that will be the one to go for.
It's got link and length tracks, hasn't it? And
I'll definitely have a bash at that. I reckon because it's I say it's a lot less complicated than the Trumpy version. Yes. But you'll get the same kind of result after building a couple of Zvezda kits now. Their armour's just fantastic. Yeah. So really nicely designed and goes together perfect. So yeah, nice kit.
Very, very
nice subject. Loads you can do with it as well. Every man and his dog's used them. So you get to town with it, can't you?
I was going to say, like the T55s, isn't it, as well? It's, used extensively everywhere. You've got options, haven't you, for those T62s. T72s getting scarcer, and obviously the more modern ones tend to be more sort of Russian. But, interesting subjects, definitely.
Yeah. So, and any modern conflicts, there's normally one of them somewhere in it.
There'd be someone doing it as well. And we've got the infantry set.
Yeah, 148 scale. Somewhat a bit different because we normally carry 135th, but that's a new release. And it's from Tamiya. So again, the quality of their figures has come on just immense. The past 10, 15 years, they are really good quality figures, and nice to see the 48th ones
again,
to go along with all their range of.
That's it. They're doing the range of the 48 stuff, and now we've got the figures coming along and all the bits and pieces. It has its own. Whereas before, from my point of view, looking inward, could not being particularly an armour modeler or 70 figures, there was no love for 48 scale. But now, this last few years, it's starting to sort of flow through, and instead of it being a few in 48 scale, but there's not much, now it's padding out, and it's becoming now 72nd, 48th, 35th, and obviously 16th is going to be the weird one after this. So really good, nice in between scale. We were saying 48 scale is really nice because the price is always very good because you're not paying big thing, and also if you're not into the complexities into large armor kits, things like that, they tend to be a simplified way of going together. So really nice as well. So if you're getting into it, especially, I think they're great.
You can sort of really detail them up if you want. I mean, I did a Panzer 4 years ago, Tamiya Panzer 4, and I did all photo etch and everything on it, and all the Schwartz and armour and everything was all photo etch. It was a nightmare to do in 48, but it looked nice when it was done.
Again, you got the crossover there with aircraft as well, haven't you? With 48
Absolutely.
scale.
Yeah.
So like we've said before, there is it's a nice tie-in for everything. 48 kind of covers everything, doesn't it? If that makes sense. I think the only obviously ships is different because they're massive, but is actually like civil cars.
Yeah, that's right.
There's that 1/43rd scale, weren't they? Which is proper die-cast scale.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, 48th, obviously civil cars, I don't think that'll probably be a thing. But again, if military stuff, you're pretty covered, aren't you? So.
No, it's it. It's an interesting crossover now that we are getting this thing about with the army, say going with the aircraft and all the bits and pieces with it. So, and again, we're seeing it with the other way with aircraft being done in 35th scale. So, you know, obviously border with theirs and various bits and pieces. So, yeah, interesting.
I wonder if Tamiya went down that route because of the home market.
Yeah.
You know, with scale, because they don't do big kits in Japan, do they? So
no.
It's. I wonder if they've pushed it that way because of, you know, their modelling sort of.
I know also it has been said, obviously, the cost of producing the bigger scale kits with the prices of raw materials has been gone through the roof. So you've got that thing as well where obviously, you know, the sprues are of a certain size and the machinery and obviously the tooling has to be of a certain size and everything else like that. And I know it was spoken about a few years ago. We were saying, I wonder if it's going to slightly shrink a little bit. I know, you know, we joke about it, but chocolate bars have done it. Everything else has shrunk a little bit and you don't notice it. Yeah, wagon wheels. Yeah, when you was a kid, they were that big.
Yeah.
Toblerone were like this, you know, but yeah, I don't know if it was just because I was smaller. But, you know, it is that thing we were talking about, obviously packaging costs and everything else like that. It becomes still in that price bracket, whereas we have seen over the last few years as well, kits have, well, we say this year especially, have gone through the roof, and a lot of that is obviously, you say, raw materials and shipping costs. But you know, it may be a way of just keeping it in that category of the money. You know, say we were a bit past pocket money these days, but definitely, I think it's one of those areas where keeping it a little bit smaller just keeps the price into the right bracket, shall we say?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. So that's it, kind of it for new releases. Like I say, we're all waiting for stuff that we've got on pre-order to drop, which should be in the next, hopefully, week. You know, like the Zero.
Yeah.
Perhaps some of the Revell kits that we've mentioned before. I say we're just at the lap of the distributors at the minute. So we have sold out of a few things from the weekend. So again, we'll be having restocks up until Christmas.
Yeah, definitely.
Get stuff back in. So.
The other one is this one. I did the review of this yesterday. Went up on the site as well, so you can catch that review as well. Really, really nice. Again, I would, as I always do, speak about this probably more as time goes on, but it's amazing how much detail has gone into the wheel wells.
Okay.
I mean, it's got amazing detail in the wheel wells, and it's sort of, I thought it might be better to put some of that energy, I will say, into the cockpit maybe, or somewhere you might actually see it.
Hey. They're pretty basic cockpit on them anyway, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they're just painted black, wasn't it, on those ones? But
yeah.
I don't know. It's just that it just seems to be there's a lot of time and detail being spent in the wheel wells where 99.9% of the time you're never going to see it. You know, so yeah, you know, don't get me wrong, the tooling's very nice with it. I know it has been mentioned about some people have had issues with fuselage halves going together, but I've got the calipers out on mine. I did it during the review, and mine's fine. But yeah, iconic aircraft, definitely. It's nice to see it. And again, nice choice of markings as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and again, seeing the Norwegian one was very nice.
I'm going to say that one ties in for next year's SIG group build. Which one is it? SIG?
SIG, yeah.
SIG, in it. So yeah, Scandinavian SIG or whatever we're calling it. Nordic SIG, I can't remember what it is. But yeah, it definitely ties in with that. So,
yes.
Cool.
But no, very, very nice. But again, the decals, oh dear, that's not the best photo. Actually, fantastic. Really, really nice. Good solid colours right the way through with it. As I say, the instructions are a dream to follow along. Very, very nice. And again, no ejector pins in wheel wells and things like that. Luckily, I think we've gone past that now with Airfix as well. So yeah, generally very, very nice. As I say, good detail on the interiors. And as I say, when you look at the smaller parts as well, there's all the riveting detail that goes around in it. It just seems to be a lot of work in there. But again, little things we're seeing, weight on wheels, nice touch. All of those things. So yeah, I think very much. The only thing I was going to say, anyone know where you get two? Is there two different types of intake?
No idea. One export, one domestic.
I wonder if the F9's going to come out, or
maybe
they'll do an F6.
Yeah,
because that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah. And as been pointed out, I did see this here as well. This is a very, very small little blemish. looks like in there. It's not a bubble, but when I reviewed it, I didn't want to say anything because I thought perhaps that's a detail, but it's supposed to be inside the canopy. But I know a couple of people have messaged me about it and said, what's that? I thought it was supposed to be there, but perhaps it's not. I thought it was a little bit of instrumentation or something that's on the inside of the canopy. I don't know, because clearly the box art doesn't show it from that side. But yeah, I know a couple of people have mentioned it and they've sent me photos of it and all the rest of it. But I don't know, I thought it was supposed to be there. So, but again, let me know if you know different.
No,
so did you have any short shots on this one?
No, I didn't. I did check. Once I did the review, because obviously when you're looking around, I did go around it properly and I can't find a short shot. So that's the first time I've had one that hasn't had a short shot for years. So, yeah, interesting.
Well done, Airfix.
Well done, Airfix. Perhaps they have improved the quality control, but no, generally it was nice to see with Airfix as well that, you know, it's definitely another step up. It's a slightly better detail, I would say, as in refinedness of the detail on the Vulcan. It just, I know it's obviously different scales, but it's just got a little bit more going for it. And again, clever engineering. I like the way that the tail booms are long fits. They go proper into it, so they're not just like sticking out the end like you do with most of the other ones that we've seen from other manufacturers. So, but no.
Have they got the cut-out fillet then to slide in?
Yeah, it's got a proper.
Done it. That makes sense. You get a nice, good, strong.
Yeah.
On then, don't you? Yeah, that's a good idea. That.
So yeah, no, really nice. But generally, as you say, detail right the way through is very good. The clear parts and everything else look absolutely fantastic. And I didn't get a short shot, so bonus.
Hey, that's it.
Very good.
Living the dream.
I know, absolutely. Right, okay, so that is, where are we? That's in there. And then obviously on the specials section at the moment. This is basically just a rollover from obviously at the weekend of the bits and pieces that are left over, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So are you fudging this alpha, putting it to the top to push it along a bit? Is this why this has moved? Because it's always been at the bottom since it came in.
Hey, we'll be building that soon if it don't go.
I've taken another £10 off it to try and...
10 extra discount.
Honestly, a collector's kit.
It is a collector's kit.
When that goes, that'll be a collector's kit.
Yes.
But like I said, the box is a bit battered, but there's nothing wrong with the kit inside. And for the price, it's now what, 50 quid nearly, 45 quid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bargain. Just it's just been sat there for a while, so I thought, I'd move it up and
see if we get a bit of interest. Come on, somebody buy it. Somebody take it off our hands.
It's gathering dust in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And again, model collect the B52G. As we know, they redid the front end for that one, and we know the B1 is on its way after talking about it the other day.
Yes. Yeah, I did a bit of research because you asked about one because you'd like one in the same second B1, and apparently model collect could be next year.
Yes.
And then it could not. We don't know, but
this is it.
Seemed to have come back around because it went really quiet. So yeah, be interesting. That's not going to be small either, is it?
No,
You're measuring.
Absolutely. So that's a new tool, 72nd B1. Let's face it, we've been desperate for a new one for a long time now. So that'll be a really nice kit, and obviously it goes along with their trio of bombers they've done. Obviously I've done the B52, you've got the Spirit as well, the B2, and now obviously the B1 as well, so that'll be quite nice. And they've got obviously all the versions now of the B52 out, got the early one, obviously the mid and the late like I've done as well. So yeah, really, really nice. Nice to see as well that Model Collect, as we spoke about, there was a problem, they retooled and redid and rejigged and everything at the front end of it to fix the problem. Then it was released. So yeah, no, I must admit it is good. Nice to see them working on that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice. Anything on here?
I just want to remind people that the B52, the Tornado, the Dauntless, and the two Tiger ones, they're not damaged box stock. They're just on sale.
Yeah, and the Chieftain's all right as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, and the Chieftain as well. Sorry, yeah. And everything else is obviously then damaged box stock.
Yes.
Slightly damaged box.
Crinkly corners.
Yeah.
Yeah, crinkly corners. That would you call it? Crinkly corner.
Yeah, crinkly corner. Yeah, you really are. It's not the sales store. We have a crinkly corner. That's where we want it. Okay, so up on pre-order, if I can find my way in as well, we've got a couple of newbies that have come in this week up for pre-order. First of all is which does look really nice as well, the P51 BC version Mustang, obviously 72nd by Armour Hobbies.
Oh, just while we're on that, an interesting conversation. Now we always are on about licensing.
Yes.
and all that gubbins of thing.
Yeah.
If you look, that one's a fully licensed Boeing product.
Yes.
So I wonder if this is now coming to fore in the modelling fraternity, shall we say, of having to have licensing to do stuff.
Yes.
And how it will impact ones that haven't got licensing.
Well,
does that make sense?
Yeah. To be honest, this conversation first started a while ago when Boeing have done licensing with various manufacturers over the years. I think Italy tends to get their licensing all in line.
Yeah.
Trumpeter obviously do. Not Trumpeter, sorry, but Tamiya do. Hasegawa, we've seen licensed products and various
things. I think the Meng F-18 had got.
Yes, that is as well, if I remember rightly. That's an official licensed product. And then other manufacturers don't seem to worry about it as much.
Well, this is it.
Russian country doesn't.
But even so, even if you take that out, all I'm saying is, in general, is do you think now this is going to be, you've got to be licensed from said company if you're reproducing one of their kits? Does that, you know what I mean? Because that is going to then impact some other manufacturers who haven't got it, whoever they are.
You think though,
names?
P-51 Mustang, being historically, its historical age, would be, I don't know, surely doesn't things not become, I mean, it's like music, isn't it? After a certain age, it's license free, isn't it?
But that is licensed, so got to be. Somebody owns it. Somebody owns the patent to a P-51 Mustang, whether they're produced or not.
Again, it's that really grey area, isn't it? Because, you could even say it with the Mustang, a lot of it, but with the Crown in the UK, as taxpayers, we paid for it. The design of certain thing, and there's always been that sort of grey area, isn't it? Is that it's because of the uniquely way it's funded. People say, why am I paying royalties on something as a taxpayer you pay for? With World War II and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem to be as a bigger thing in the UK, but in America, as we know through various, Ford especially, if you buy anything like Meng, I think that was the first time I saw it, that it was when I did the Meng F-150, that had all over it Ford official licensed product, and it had all this details and all the bits and pieces, and I think that's where it sort of came up to it. But
Tamiya's got Ford license.
Oh, Tamiya have Ferrari when they had the licensing.
They've got it as well.
Yeah. But
it is a interesting sort of topic of conversation at some point we could have. Obviously not today because it's not that sort of show, but I'm just wondering if that's the way the world's going now for kits and stuff. If it is owned by said company, you have to get the licensing to be able to, or does it give it more clout because it is licensed when you put it on the box by, it is endorsed by Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Ford, whoever it is. I don't know.
I must admit it is. It's one of those really weird ones because obviously it's a bit like saying like the Spitfire, Supermarine Spitfire, who then was bought out by somebody else, and eventually it's probably now part of BAE Systems or Rolls-Royce or whatever it is. But it's so far down the line of, like, say 70 years ago, it's like, okay, so how does that work in today's? But somebody's still got the license at the end of it, so you have to do it. But
I'm more going by companies that are still going. Like Lockheed Martin have been going out long, and Grumman and Boeing and Ford and Ferrari and all them companies. I'm not saying like Messerschmitt and Focke-Wulf and, like you said, Supermarine. They're defunct companies. They've got to be. Avro, they've gone. But so I don't know if that's going to be such a issue with those companies if they're not sort of trading anymore. But we've had it with Opel, haven't we? You can't put an Opel Blitz. You can't put an Opel badge on an Opel Blitz. They always call it a 3-ton truck or something because Opel is still an ongoing company like Volkswagen and blah blah blah. So I don't know, it's just an interesting.
It is.
Hey, because it's the first time I've seen it on an Armour Hobbies boxing because obviously they've done the Grumman Wildcat. But on that, Hawker is obviously a company that's now gone, but. Yeah, I'm just wondering if that's the route, the route companies might have to go down.
But again, the sad thing is it's going to be one of those hurdles, which is almost, as I say, comes down, we spoke about it with like Formula One and NASCAR and stuff like that. If you've got to get the license for everything that's written on it to do it, that's another cost, which then eventually is going to get passed on to the customer. So
Yeah.
You're into that horrible situation where, and people turn around and say, well, it only costs like 20p to make the kit. But yeah, but we've had to pay 500,000 in a license agreement.
I think we know, obviously, with the F1 stuff and I think rally cars or whatever, it's not just you're paying, say, Ford or Ferrari or whoever, like Mercedes, for the thing. It's all the sponsors that go on it. At least with an aircraft, it is just the said company, isn't it? You know what I mean? So at least it's not plastered with, Castrol and stuff like that.
Again, it's one of those interesting subjects of how it affects, because everybody just wants their pint of blood out of you these days, isn't it? So if they can make money anyway. But it's funny because we did speak about this. There was a certain Russian company who don't have any licensing at all, and it's amazing how that they can release their stuff of modern Western aircraft, shall we say, but there's no licensing on it at all. Where other companies have been told they need it.
Just because it's not on the box, it doesn't mean they've got it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You can't. That's a bit of speculation that they're not licensed. You don't know that, but obviously most people put it on the box if they have. But I don't know. We ought to talk to sort of Airfix.
Yes.
And say how do they? Because obviously they do a lot of like behind you, the Vampire and obviously Spitfires and how they do go about it, really. Maybe because they don't really do things like BAE, do they? I think the only BAE thing is the Hawk, but that's an old tool. If you look at the new tool stuff, it's quite companies that are no longer, shall we say,
or items that aren't in production anymore, as in built anymore. So
might be a can of worms that might not want to open.
Yes.
Hey, I suppose I don't know, because McDonnell Douglas is still going, and they've done a Phantom, haven't they?
Well, they're under Boeing now, aren't they?
Are they under Boeing?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a bit like BAE took over everything. Boeing took over everything as well. So, like Lockheed, it's like Lockheed Martin under Boeing these days, and all the rest of it. So, but yeah, again, it's an interesting subject. I just hope it doesn't turn into one of those things where corporate land gets involved with a hobby and wanting their pound of flesh out of it. Because if it is that thing, it's not even the money in some cases, it's the time. The back and forth in about these things. I know for a fact that, I know a couple of people, like even Ron, do you remember when he was doing the Red Arrows decals?
Yes.
He had to go to the Crown and ask the Crown if they could use the Royal Air Force name, because that's Crown property. It's ridiculous. So that's when we've often said, you see decals and they break them up into a million bits. And we're not just talking SWAT stickers here. We're talking with roundels and stuff, because the Crown owns the roundel. So it always used to be back in the day, wasn't it? Like, especially these, it was that thing, the white and the red. It's got nothing to do with printing them colours. It's because if all together, you have to pay for that. But if you do them as separate, that's just a red circle, a white circle, and a blue circle, and away you go. So, but say Crown turn around and they want their thing. But I know when he spoke to them, they were literally just saying you can produce X amount of them free, I think it is. And if you go over that, then you have to pay, and it was a lot. So, yeah, ridiculous. But
anyway,
hopefully we'll be all right. Anyway, beautiful kit, very nice.
Shall we talk about the kit? So this is the expert edition, as they call it. So that's got masks and photo etching, and as you can see there, it's got 6 decal options.
Yes.
For those of you who can count.
Yeah. Is that like the -1?
We don't quite understand, because
we don't quite know why it just says 6 decal options.
It comes with 6 decal options.
Yeah. Perhaps it's a lucky dip, and you only get.
You know why, don't you? Why it's this one? Hold on. This one here is the same as this one. It's just that this one's got a red in there, and that one's got a star, but the markings are identical.
Oh, there you go. There's your 6 options then.
I make it full screen so people can see. But yeah, look, that's what that is. It's just that obviously, was this a captured one or something?
I mean, it must be. I presume so. Yeah, it's well spotted that, because we didn't spot that, did we, Andy?
No, didn't. No.
It's the same tail code.
The one with the great shark's mouth stuck under it. Yeah, now you've said it. So there's your 6 options. You can just change these stars and bars for a.
Yeah, you can just put a spot on. A sun.
A red sun on it.
Yeah.
But
really nice one. We were discussing before. This is technically the Spitfire top, as I call it, which I know is wrong, but it definitely is my favourite looking Mustang of them all. I do like the normal sort of B, but the bubbly top one like that without the bars in, it's my favourite looking Mustang of all the different versions.
We do get obviously both canopies in it, don't you? Because you get the other one as well.
Yeah, you got the bird cage, which I've got here. Yeah, the standard B. Yeah. So nice, very, very nice. But again, nice variety as well. Because obviously you've got the RAF ones, both types, and then obviously you've got drab, the metal finishes, and again, nice shark's mouth. So,
yeah, interesting kit anyway from Armour. So that's up for pre-order. That's just gone up. So when you see this show, you can put your name down if you're interested.
Have we got a price on that one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to tell me?
Yeah, where's the price?
Where's the price? I'm just. That's why I asked. I wasn't being P. I literally was like, "Do we have a price?"
We do have a price.
Hold on, let our man in the know find that out. I just wondered how much it was.
When you watch this, it will have a price.
There'll be a price on it.
Oh yeah, right, okay, yeah, but it won't because they'll be watching this. They'll see the video of it. It hasn't got a price.
Yeah, but
you'll go back into here and you can find the price after the show.
It isn't cheap, but it's the expert set, so it comes with photo etch, the 6 decal options, and canopy mask, etc. So it's not the cheapest 7-second scale kit, but it's detailed.
Yes. So I've put my name down for this one. I want this one, please. Look, I'm even in the listing.
Senior.
Top of the list.
I am top of the list.
You should have put first next to it.
That's it. Oh yeah, that's what you have to do, isn't it?
Go and edit it. Put first.
Yeah, go and edit. I'll put first in there. But yeah, I must admit, I'm going to build a couple of these for the retirement scheme for the Phantoms. These are obviously the EJ or the Japanese Phantoms. Obviously, they're all retiring, being replaced by the F-35s. So yeah, I think they've just done a stunning job on the retirement schemes. There's lots of them because obviously they've all been retired over the last few years. But this is 301, isn't it? If I remember rightly. Yes,
yeah,
301 Squadron. Really nice as well.
So out of the two that we've got up for pre-order, see the one in a minute. Which one do you prefer? I like that one.
I prefer the yellow and black. Yeah, definitely. As I say, we've got the other one here. Here it is.
All I see is stencils. That's all I can see in that picture.
Yeah.
The thing is, they're all going to be part of this anyway. There is another company, isn't it? Was it EDK or whatever it is, do them all as well as just the actual decals, but also they do them as stencils, so for masking for these ones as well. They're very expensive though, but I don't think you can get them in here. You can get them out of Hong Kong, but if you have got a load of Phantoms lying around, you could obviously do that with them. But again, me and Matt were talking about this yesterday, and I was saying that when you look at the price of the Hasegawa, what used to be a £25 Phantom, for a 48 scale, which is quite not being funny, it's a very basic Phantom. There's not a lot to it, as in detail. You know, originally I thought about, well, I could get a couple of them in, and I'll get some decals, and I'll do them. But really, this one at 70 quid. Because it's got the decals as well, which is a good, you know, cost you another 25 quid. It's that thing about, well, actually, that's not too bad a price because you're that you can have, and I've still got one over there, I've got a J, and it's like now they're 55, 60 quid. And it's like, for what? It's a really, really old kit, and it's typical Hasegawa reboxing and kicking out old kits. And if you want a 72nd scale one, they're 65 quid. It's ridiculous money for them. So,
yeah.
Actually, it's not a bad price then.
And the Zucamora one is very detailed.
It's highly detailed. It's got great detail in the cockpit. It's got lovely wheel wells and stuff like that. The engine and all the bits underneath it as well, fantastic. You know, if you're going to build a Phantom now, that's the one to do for the top tier 48 scale one. And originally they were, you know, it seemed like a lot of money difference, but now because the cheaper option is no longer cheap, I would definitely do that one. So that's why I've got my name down for 2. Watch this space next year.
So when Tamiya release their one next year?
Probably. Do you know what? I'm really surprised. Yeah, do you know what? I'm all over this one anyway. I'm really surprised Tamiya didn't do it first, do the E first, the long nose Phantoms, because they could have then gone in with a retirement scheme, because it would have come out then exactly when they were retiring, and they could have cashed in. I'm not being funny, it's exactly what Zucamori did, but Tamiya could have done that. So, sad.
Need a recce one, then I'll be happy.
Yeah. Yes.
But anyway, they're up for pre-order if anybody's interested.
Get one. Build along with me. Buddy build.
Buy one.
As I say, loads of interest obviously in the Harrier.
Yeah.
Lots of interest. So this will be next year, but should be early next year as we're saying as well. But again, 28 quid, 48 scale, GR7, bargain, grab it.
Yeah.
Stick it in your stash even if you don't build it, because it might not be around.
We've got over 60 pre-orders now. So
yeah, I was going to say, I know there's loads on that one. Okay, so this will tie into a question that we've got. Obviously, we will discuss this now. We've had one of the questions that's coming up in a minute is asking about the availability of this kit and all the rest of it. And I know jokingly we did say, well, we had to wait 5 years for the first release. So, you know, here we are waiting another 2 years for the next release of
January.
AMK. But apparently we've been told January. We don't know what year, but it's January.
Yeah.
It could be January 22, 23, 24.
It's singing because I did speak to who's bringing them in, and it is January. So
yeah,
fingers crossed up with everything that's going off back again. It should be okay for Jan.
So that'll not just be the F14.
That is, yeah, it's everything. It's all full AMK range.
Yeah.
So
obviously the Tora. Have they renamed it yet? Have they? Oh no, they didn't. They kept it as Tora. Dual combo 48 scale set. This is due out now.
Yeah.
I was told it was out on the 1st, and here we are on the 1st. So it should be here any time now. If they wait a few days and release it on the anniversary, I swear that's poor taste. I'm not being funny. It arrives on the anniversary as that would. The conspiracy theorists will be out with that one.
I'll be listening to a podcast about
that. It'd be one of your podcasts all on about that one. That said company is, But that looks a really, really nice kit. I'd say this year I did the 32nd one, Tamiya, after waiting forever to do it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a great looking aircraft, and the surface detail is beautiful. And knowing Edard, it will be a mini-me version of the Tamiya one.
Yeah.
So all of that riveting will probably be there. I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen CAD bits and pieces, but it does look really, really nice indeed. So looking forward to see that one. So yes.
And remembering that's a dual combo kit for that price. So basically, like £24 a piece, isn't it? So
yeah, that's right. You've got 2 of them down in there, which is really nice. So yeah, good job on that one. And it turns out it wasn't Tora anyway, was it? I was watching a program about this last night. You were watching it minute by minute, Pearl Harbor attack.
No. I've seen it pop up on something somewhere, but I've not watched it.
Yeah, it was on, I think it was Channel 5 or Channel 4 last night, and it's a minute by minute account of the entire thing. So yesterday it was like the weeks building up to it, and then obviously the attack started at was it 7:48 or was it 8:48 in the morning of it, and that's where it ended. So I think it's tonight will be, or is it next week, whenever it is, will be the next one. But a very interesting program. But it turns out it's not Tora. That's a bit of a gaff. It's R 5 R's with the sent as the code to say the attack was started, or something like that. So
where's the Tora come from then?
Because it's the R bit of it. Has something to do with it. I don't know if it's a translation thing, but it was just a simple like Morse message or whatever it is back to the carrier group to say that we're doing it, you know. So but yeah, where Tora came from, I'm not quite sure, but it's the actual RR. I don't know if it's a translation thing or something come through, but it was a simple 5 R's or something were sent back to the ship. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. But really, really interesting. Love it. I think it'll be a great kit as well. So looking forward to seeing that one. Hopefully it doesn't drop in a week's time. Right. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about in here?
No, but there is some future releases we need to talk about. And one of them that I'm quite interested in. A new tool by AMP Gazelle in 48 scale.
Yeah,
there has been. I've heard about it, but it has been.
Rumour going around for this one for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, it has been officially sort of done because I know KP are re-releasing the old Hella Gazelle, which is 1/50th scale. It's not even 48th. Nice schemes in it, but this is because AMP have done some helicopters that we carry as well, haven't they? So the Dragonfly and Sycamore and stuff like that. So they are nice kits, and they're doing a new tooled 48 Gazelle. So.
As soon as we get a price for it, we'll get it up on a pre-order.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a pre-order on that as soon as we get a price. So that's been announced. Clear prop that we actually don't stock because we actually can't get them on trade. have just done as well a mohawk in some second.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Because we've had the Sea Sprite, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you reviewed it. Did you review it? You
I
did,
think so.
didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we've called out to them to get in touch, haven't we? Because we'd like, or whoever in the UK actually brings them in. I've got no idea who the stock is, but they're just some really nice kits.
Yeah.
And they, you know, I think they are going to in the future bring out some good stuff. So yeah, they're little mohawks out. And what was on your list? We was on about Andy.
We were talking about them ships, weren't they? The Tacom ones.
Yeah, that's a question. We'll tie
yeah.
that in with a question.
All right, yeah. That was it, basically. The Mustang and the AMP Gazelle.
Just another thing, the verifier ships.
Yes.
Now, we're not keeping stock of them, but we can get them. So obviously they were in the specials at the weekend. We've took them off because we actually don't carry them here. We get them in. If you're interested in any of them, please contact us to say which one you'd like, and we can get them, no problem.
Right.
Because they do look nice.
Yeah.
They do look nice and detailed, and I think we have had some questions after the show about them.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're interested, just shoot us an email, and we'll we can get them whenever, because literally our supplier's down the road, so it's not like a million miles away.
Yeah.
So if we ask nicely, he might even send it out for us as well.
It does sometimes.
So yeah, that's about the news for this week. Like I say, it's just restocking and waiting for stuff to come in as usual. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, over to the questions. So question 1 is from Stuart. Am I on the right day? Wednesday. Yep. Sorry, he's asking about colours. Well, it looks at. I was looking for an RLM 24 dark blue in the AK range on PM, but can't find it. It was the nose cone on a Stuka. Do you stock this colour? Or an alternative would be the RC11. What would you suggest?
Attacker do one, and Guns do a blue, I think, if I remember, an RLM. I can't remember what the number is. 24, but I don't know what the number is in. I mean, the paint.
Yeah.
They're the alternatives. Again,
I know AK do a blue, don't they? For is it for the oh god, I'm trying to think what it is. I've had discussions with Nathan about it before when I was doing my Arado. But one of them is a dark
best thing to do. Shall we carry this over? Oh, Nathan's not on tomorrow night. Unfortunately, Nathan's not with us tomorrow night because we're going to carry it over till tomorrow. We'll do a bit of research and thingy, but Attacker definitely do one, and so do Guns, if I remember, if they're still doing
one
it.
I'm thinking about might have been RLM 83.
Oh, it's not that. No, that's not it. That's not it. Completely different colour.
Is it?
Yeah, RLM 83 is the one where they've made a blue up. This is a proper blue, like it's the proper red and a proper yellow. They use like RLM 04 and whatever. So yeah, that's not it. I'll have a look, and then we'll ping it tomorrow night. All right.
And pretty much this will be the same for the second one. We're after ask Comrade Buller. He's basically saying about he's also looking to do the Arctic camo flanker soon. But doesn't know what the actual colours are. He's assuming it's not just white, black and grey. Probably is actually. Any help? Again, I wouldn't know. As I say, if you're doing like Mukau or Splinter, which are the F-16s, which are in that Arctic camo colour, which act as aggressor aircraft, that is, I could actually, do you know what, it's funny, I might have been doing some research the other day and I've still got it here. So if you wanted to do, like, use the American equivalencies of, it's called BDU Splinter, and the colours for that would be, if we've got it, so it's Federal Standard 37084, 37038, which would be just trying to find it. Mr. Paint do it MRP 77. Guns do it 343. The rest of them I don't think match. And then obviously the greys for it are again, it's the standard sort of flanker grey they've used for it, but also is FS251, which would be MRP 094. So, yeah. Again, they're quite interesting colours to work with. And that very light grey, which is almost white, they're saying is FS36628, which MRP do it, and they're the only one, is 246. So it looks like MRP colours are the way you go. So if you want to do it, MRP 77, MRP 094, MRP 039, and MRP 246. Again, they're aggressor colours, and people don't really do them. So that is the problem with it, but that's to do that type of splinter, which is the F16. So I'm using 2 bobs here, decals for it. So yes, again, I'm not being funny, and like we've said with this a lot of them, we even showed photos of it over the weekend. They weather incredibly quickly, so you could probably get away with an off-white, an off-black, and an off-grey. Because by the time it's been weathered in, not being funny, for the real ones, you know, Arctic flankers in that environment is horrible. Yeah, they sit outside under 2 foot of snow before they wipe it off before it goes flying. So they're going to weather down horrendously. So I don't think you'd have to be that accurate to the colours, as long as they're in the ballpark. And if you're going to be adding weathering and stuff onto it, I think you'd be fine. But anyway, we will speak to Conrad Bollard tomorrow and see if he's got any different ideas.
Yeah.
He also says, I just wanted to say thank you to all the team for the weekend. It was a great weekend. It was indeed.
It was, yeah. It was.
Glenn says, thank you for answering my Lancaster question last week. He's got the Revel kit on a Black Friday sale. Had a look, and it does look like a nice kit. It is very good. I can vouch for it. A couple of quickies. Any news of when the Das Werk 116 Stug will appear?
Actually, no, but we was talking because Hella's releasing one.
Yeah.
Hella's releasing a 1/16 Stug, and we was like, is this the same kit or not? Or do you know what I mean? It's a bit coincidental that all of a sudden 2 1/16 Stug Jeeps are coming out at the same time. But from what Andy did a bit of research, and you think they're different, don't you?
I had a look at the sprues, and they do look different. The sprue layer, certain parts on the sprues look the same, but the sprue layouts look different. Also, the Das Works one's got link tracks, and the Hella one's got individual track links. Yes, I don't think they're all the same kit. But it is weird that both of them are bought out the same kit. And it's strange for Hella to bring like a.
I thought one had Simmerit as well, and one didn't.
Yeah, sorry, one had got. Oh no, sorry, right now. Das Work. I'm getting a bit mixed up now. Das Work actually do 2 types. They do one with Zimmerit and one without.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure now, thinking about it.
You can't remember which one's which.
Well, I know that the one that's got Zimmerit definitely comes with link and length tracks. It was late on, and I found the other one later on when I was looking at it. I'm not 100% sure whether or not the one without the Zimmerit comes with individual tracks.
Well, a little bit of a rumour. I'm not 100% sure if what's in this is originally a trumpeter kit, is or moulds. But that's only sort of a rumour behind it. I'm sure it'll all come out in some way or shape or another, which wouldn't surprise me with them doing a lot of 1/16 tanks, but they've never actually released the Stug. So I don't know if that is, because it could be somebody else's, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I thought that Takum thing would have been out by now. It's gone really quiet because there's been a lot of Takum other releases, which Takum Das Works releases, and that's not come yet. So I don't know. I presume it's going to be next year, probably first quarter of next year now.
So basically, it may or may not be the same as the
Hella one.
Hella one.
But the Hella ones do now.
Yeah.
The Hella one is actually due out literally. It might be out as we speak, or being, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Is that me though? Just saying, but Hella doing a 1/16? Is this normal?
Well, it's now who owns Hella, isn't it?
Oh right.
Hella is owned by a company we deal with.
There's a bit of a backstory about who owns Das Work.
Oh right.
Who owns Hella?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why there is a connection, roughly like trumpeter, hobby boss, merit type of relationship, is it?
There's a connection as in geographical locations, but
yeah, right. They're on the same estate. Like I said, other companies.
Not quite, I don't think, but yeah. It's probably something I don't want to get into on here on the live show, but we'll discuss it after.
Okay.
We'll fill you in. All right.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway,
move along, quick.
Moving along, will you be getting any of the new Takom 1-700 ship kits? They look quite simple with relatively low parts count, but quite detailed. Be an idea for ship dioramas and dry docks. Looks nice.
Yeah, they're doing a few, aren't they? They're doing a couple of US.
Yeah, we've had a look into it, haven't we? They do like in a is it Charlestown dry dock with a Frank Knox battleship, a Goering class destroyer. What else are they doing? They SMS.
What
so
message?
So we'll just say
SMS message.
Yeah, a couple two World War One battleships, and also you can get the 2 World War One battleships together along with a Q class Zeppelin. So I'm trying to.
Oh, I've seen that one, yeah, with the Zeppelin one. Yeah, I've seen the image of that.
Yeah, so they're doing a few different ones. Interesting. That's up to you and Matt whether or not we'll get them in, because we don't sell many ships, do we?
Oh, that's it. Pass them back to us. Normally doesn't matter. Usual thing, if you want them, we can get them. I don't know if it'd be a standard item for us to carry in the warehouse, but we can definitely get them in.
Or we could do a pre-order and bang them up on pre-order, see if anybody wants them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ships is definitely one thing that we don't sell many of, do we?
No.
If any.
If any.
Well,
to be honest, it is that thing. It's a bit like my sub that I just finished. If you look at the viewing figures for the last part of Watched It, for those 2 people, thank you. But yeah, clearly it's not everyone's cup of tea.
We did sell a few ships at the weekend, so yeah, it's not as though we don't sell them. It's just that we don't sell many of them.
No. Anyway, Mike Howard says, "Hi Phil and gang, when painting with brushes and using Tamiya XF paints, is it best to use an acrylic thinner or a lacquer thinner?"
All I can say is use a retarder and don't use lacquer thinner.
Have you got?
You can't get that.
Yeah, we can get the lacquer one, which works as well.
Oh, can we? Oh, right.
Yeah, we sell the lacquer retarder.
We sell lacquer.
Also, I do that way, which is airbrush thinner. You know, you can use a little bit of that, but airbrush cleaner has got a little bit of soapy stuff, which works quite well with it as well. So you can fill it with that.
No, try that with Tamiya.
Yep. To be honest, little Ben taught me that trick when he was here. He uses it for thinning Tamiya paints.
Yeah.
And it worked a treat.
If it was me, I'd probably be using their X20A with some retarder. But I say you can't buy, for some reason we can't buy the acrylic retarder in this country, but we do the lacquer retarder, which Matt assures me that you can use in the XF range as well.
I can't see what the difference is. A retarder's a retarder, surely. Well, I don't. But they might be. I think they must be. But I mean, I've got the AK retarder, paint retarder for acrylics, but I don't brush paint with Tamiya paints because I think they're the worst things ever to try and brush paint with. And definitely don't use lacquer thinners because all you'll do is just rip off what you've put down because it's a hot product. It'll just melt
it'll eat into the previous layer.
Then if you're just dabbing and touching in with lacquer, that's it. If you start brushing, you'll put yourself in a world of pain.
Yeah.
But we do know people who brush perfectly well with using Tamiya XF paints, don't we? And for life, I can't do it.
Right. It's what you get used to, though, isn't it? That's
again, I hand painted the cockpit on this one on Friday on the live show, and people were saying that you couldn't realise you did it. But I wouldn't say I'm brushing; I'm flooding. I'm putting literally. I use the brush to push it around. I'm not brushing it on as in a thin coat. And people were saying, "Oh, I didn't realise you could paint it." I'm not painting it at all. I'm literally pushing it to the corners and let it sit. It's because, as I say, I don't like it. If you're going to be doing that, I prefer a dedicated, proper brush paint. Like as I say, model colour or something else like that, isn't it?
I think the problem is with obviously XF, isn't it? Because it's an alcohol-based one, it just dries the fast. Yeah. It just drags. I learned years and years ago trying to brush it. I can't remember if I came back into the hobby, I think, and trying to brush it, and it was just like, it's just, you get one sort of stroke and it's just gone off, and it's just like, this is just awful, isn't it? But it needs a retarder, 100% needs a retarder. So
But because it does dry so fast, you get all the brush lines in it, don't you? And you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, Graham says, I've heard that Tackham are doing some ships. I think we just covered that. So we just spoke about that one. That's the same question.
Yep.
And the last one is from Greg. He says, hi, Phil and Matt and Andy. I'm just wondering if there was any word on the AMK, MiGs, and obviously the F-14 Tomcats. I imagine, yeah. So we answered that one as well.
Yep.
So, yes, watch this space. January.
That's what it's in for container landing in January. So, yeah.
If they come in January, I imagine that the container must be probably on its way in by now. You'd hope.
Yep, could be.
Who knows? Yeah. Literally, I've given up judging it. As I say, said family member, they have a tracking screen at their place, and it shows where all their ships are with all the containers at any one time. It's like real-time tracking. That they don't bother anymore. That's turned off.
Hey, right, I've got a thing which is a bit off topic, right? Because I've been listening to pirate podcasts. You know, you get that thing that pops up on you because you YouTube and all that, because everything's now watching you.
Yeah.
Somali pirates, right? Yes. And there was a little video I was watching about some Somali pirates trying to board a container ship, shall we say, or, you know, a thingy ship. Now, bearing in mind they're in these little speedy boats, aren't they?
Yeah, little skiff, yeah.
And this boat they're trying to board's this big.
Yes.
Why don't they just sort of, you know, run over them?
Because it is that big, they can't just.
Because it takes fucking 5 miles for it to turn. That's why.
I know there's logic behind why they can't, but do you know what I mean? You're looking at this video. Obviously, it was a failed boarding. I've watched. They didn't board it because they sped off in the end or whatever. But it was just like, and sure they've got to climb up.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Now, I know they're armed. Don't get me wrong. I do know they're obviously armed. These pirates, they're not, you know, like old with a cutlass and all the, you know, golden age.
Swinging on from another ship.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like Errol Flynn just coming in on a piece of rope. But it's just astounding how the thing to actually for them to do it. I think.
Oh yeah.
Once they're actually at the side of the boat, they're difficult to see because you can't see the side of the boat. Just throw a grappling hook up.
Well, they even just use a bit of bamboo, isn't it, with little hooks. It's got a hook on the top, and they put it on, and they climb up it like a ladder. And once they're on board, it's a bit tricky. But, you know, I've seen other ones where they've got private security on board.
Yeah, well, that's what I was watching. These private security guys on and patrolling it, and they was filming it. And they could see the little boats sort of, you know, buzzing around, shall we say. But I think, obviously, they didn't get near enough to try.
One somewhere on YouTube where they try and board is it a US battleship, or they're trying to get close to a US battleship or something, thinking it's a container ship.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually a US, you know, Navy. And they just
There's a very famous one, if you want to go Google it, is it's Russian private military contractors. And yeah, they got some serious hardware on board this ship, and they let them get right up to it and then open up on them. You know, literally, it mullers the hell out of everything. It's like, that's how we deal with it. You know, so it's like, crikey. But yes, never mind. Anyway,
that's a conversation for another day, isn't it? Really, it was interesting. It was just an interesting, you know, scenario. That was all for what you see. So, okay, let's wrap it up there.
Wrap it up there quick before we get in trouble with everything else. Right, okay, so usual thing, you get all your bits and pieces over at the PM store if you want to have a look around there and all the rest of it. As I said, things are changing all the time, tools coming in, paints, restocks and all the rest of it, and kits. And as soon as these kits come in, obviously you'll be the first to know, so keep an eye out on the actual new arrival section. And as they come in, obviously they'll go up directly. If you've got any pre-orders with us, don't forget you don't have to pay until release. So actually we've got the kits, then you'll be sent an invoice by our very own Andy, and then he'll be chasing you for money, and then obviously we can send them off straight to you straight away. There we go. Right, okie dokie then, guys. If we're all done, we will leave it right there. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We will see you tomorrow night live at 7:30 on the Floyd Model Show if you want to see us there, or if not, we will catch you again very, very soon. So say goodbye, gentlemen. We're out of here.
Goodbye. See you later.
Bye.